All right, we're back. We got a special edition for you. Our guest is a guitarist, lyricist, songwriter of the group Savage Existence. Please welcome Daniel Cleland. Hey,
What's
Daniel.
up, guys?
All the way from Costa Rica to Los Angeles. We love it.
Magic of technology.
Oh, man. And you guys are about to storm the European continent with the mighty Ross the Boss from Man of War and the Dictators. Yeah, I had to commend Ross like I always do, man. That dude's got a work ethic like no other, man. I'm looking over his discography and I'm like, whoa, this dude has been in a lot of bands, put out a lot of songs, and still has that energy of a teenager. He's running like a batting cage by day in the middle of, Queens, New York, and next thing you know, he's on a plane to Europe to slay the metal fans. So, how did you guys hook up with Ross?
Well, actually, it was pretty easy. We have the same manager. So, we basically like, John, get us on tour. He's like, okay, well, I got a Euro tour with Ross the Boss. I'll get you on that one. Okay, here we go.
And who was your manager?
John Pettigras.
Okay, that's great. And how long have you been with him?
About a year now.
Okay, and what was it in him, and what do you think he liked in you guys that made a good fit?
Well, we had a couple of mutual connections, and they kind of made mutual recommendations. And then also, yeah, he was familiar with Anton and the Wings of Destiny band. So it was kind of like kind of both. Like our producer Logan Mater was was familiar with John, and John was familiar with Logan, so he made a recommendation. And then also our road manager Eduardo Marenco, who took us through Mexico. Um, he was also familiar with John and has known John for many years, so he also made a connection, and we got linked up and spent a couple months just greasing the wheels and getting to know each other, and then we started working together last April, so exactly a year.
Yeah, we know Logan, so I know it's a strong sound. Tell us about what it's like touring in Mexico, because we know about Mexico City, but the other markets and all that. What did how did you find the culture and the fans, and was it something that was different than you're used to, or how do you make it out?
Well, Mexico is a great country. It's a great country to tour in. A lot of long distances, so you're either flying, which usually involves a connection in Mexico City, or you're driving kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 hours between cities, up to 9 hours. But the food's great in Mexico. The people are great. The prices are great. The scenery is beautiful. It's a lot safer than what a lot of people fear. Um, and we really like Mexico. It's always a place we enjoy going back to, and we have plans to go back later this year to the a couple of big festivals and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll. It's also right in the center of, like, between us and Costa Rica and the U.S., and just easy to get to as well.
Yeah, well, we know Mexico City, we know Guadalajara. What are some of the other markets that you play in Mexico?
I mean, we played in a couple spots up north, like in Chihuahua or San Luis Potosí, um, Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey, Aguas Calientes. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, individual characteristics of each place. It's just kind of, every place is a little bit different, different scenery, but people are, nice, and the food's always good. And, the climate changes as you go up further north or into the interior, or higher in altitude or lower in altitude. And yeah.
Now we know about the police, the police can be corrupt. Is it important to have like a Mexican guide with you so the police don't fuck with you and try and extort you or anything?
I don't really know. We didn't have any issues with the police ever, not even a stop or a run-in or anything like that. Um, and I mean, anywhere in Latin America, the police can be corrupt, including Costa Rica, where I live now. So, like we were all very clear that like nobody was going to be carrying drugs anywhere, um, but yeah, we didn't even have one encounter with the police, so I can't really comment on that.
Okay. Well, even from California, acts that go into Tijuana seem to have some corrupt cops waiting for them. I've even heard cops standing at the bottom of the stage steps saying, "You're not getting on this stage until you pay the tariff." They're like, "What?"
I mean, it,
They're,
it, it could be, they do like that does happen in Latin America for sure.
yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, you have someone on board that's speaks the language and
Well, we all speak the language. We all live in
okay,
Costa Rica.
okay. So you got Spanish already in your blood down there.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, well that helps. That's amazing. And obviously is Mexico City the biggest best shows?
Um, yes. We played twice at the Circo Volador, which was, it's kind of an iconic venue there, and we're pretty decent shows. We also had a really good show at oh well, the Guadalajara show was awesome. We played at C3 stage. And then God, what was that other place called? Um Chihuahua. Yeah, we played it. There was a we had a really nice venue in Chihuahua too that were, all kind of little under 1,000 people. So nothing crazy big, but
Okay.
also enough to get a good vibe going.
So a nice sized club and good sound system.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We bring our own sound guy with us too, so he really he knows how to tweak
Dials
everything.
it in.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So you don't go over to Baja. Baja is mainly like tourist locations.
Well, I haven't been there. Mexico is a huge country, right? So, like it's been more convenient to actually, did I go to fucking Baja? I think I actually did. Oh no, I went to Cabo.
Yeah,
Um,
Cabo's the tip of Baja.
yeah, so yeah, I was there for a bachelor party one time, but not for touring.
Okay.
So it was right before our last tour. So I flew to Mexico City, then flew to Cabo and did a bachelor party there, and then flew back to Mexico City and started the tour. But yeah, that we haven't played on that side, nor have we played on the east like Cancun or Tulum.
Okay. Yeah, mainland Mexico primarily. And
Yeah,
and
for the
and
locals.
coming from Costa Rica, do you play locally or go to Panama or Ecuador, or any of the other Central American countries?
Um, we, I mean, we have played a few times in Costa Rica, but um, the market here it's kind of small. It's like, the same people go to every concert kind of thing. So, you don't want to be playing too many times in the same year. Um, so yeah, we have been focusing more on getting out of Latin America. So that's why we're going to Europe this month, actually, in a few weeks.
Okay. And have you looked into touring South America? And if so, what are the challenges to go to Colombia or Ecuador or I'm sorry, obviously, Peru or Argentina or Brazil?
Yeah, many of the same challenges. Logistics is always a little bit less organized, less reliable, less quality. The distances are longer, so and the terrain is usually like mountainous. So, you've got, either super long bus rides. You probably don't have a tour bus. You probably have to ride like in sprinters or vans or something, carrying a trailer or what have you. Um, and then, or just fly. And most of the countries, you're only going to get like 1 or 2 dates in each country. So you're probably flying most of the time. We were looking at a tour that would have been like 1 or 2 dates in Colombia, 1 or 2 dates in Ecuador, 1 or 2 dates in Peru, 1 or 2 dates in Chile, 1 or 2 dates in Argentina. So that's a lot of ground you're covering in the span of a week or 10 days. And so that's always a bit of a challenge. And, you got to be a little bit more careful about theft and about just the way people do business. A lot of it's done analog, a lot of it's done cash, a lot of it's, it's sometimes hard to find super reliable partners. So you want to be working with people who've been in the game for a long time and have a good CV, a good track record. But yeah, so we haven't done a South American tour yet. We were looking at one, but we couldn't get it to make sense. And we'll be looking at more dates next year.
Yeah,
Like this,
well,
sorry, later
see,
this year. Later this year.
we see Lollapalooza has gone down. They do Chile. They do is it Peru or Argentina? They've created the festivals down there, and I know some of the bigger bands obviously go down, Iron Maiden and all that. But yeah, I guess it's like always, you need a guide. You need someone who's from the country that deals with the promoters and all that for you, because carrying around a bunch of cash when the bad guys may be in cahoots with the promoter, you might get the cash taken away as fast as you get handed it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, that's exciting. Is this the first time in Europe for you
Um, what, as a band
as a
or
band performing?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot different, as a tourist over there. Obviously, as a band, you're dealing with promoters but obviously, like you say, you got same management as Ross the Boss. He's probably done 100 European tours in his years. So he's dealing with all known characters and all of that. So I know it should be exciting for you. How many dates will you be doing in Europe?
Somewhere between 14 and 18, I think. We've got a bunch of dates lined up in Europe, or sorry, in Germany, that include I think 4 festivals. Not huge festivals, but and then we go into Denmark for I think 1 or 2 shows, Netherlands for 1 or 2 shows, and Belgium for 1 or 2 shows, and then we might tack on a few more dates in Spain afterward.
Okay. Well, I know, in the past, Amsterdam was a great destination for a lot of bands, with the legalized cannabis and all that. But now cannabis is pretty much legalized across America, all through Canada, more and more countries. So Amsterdam doesn't quite have the lone appeal that it once had, but obviously a good country. And personally, I think Germany's probably going to be your favorite country. I mean, it is I'm sure you visited there before. It's an
I know
awesome.
none of us
You
have
haven't been
ever
to
been to
Germany yet.
Germany. No, so
Well,
it's
I'm
kind
sure
of
I'm sure
exciting.
Ross will tell you they're very much like the Americans, and you know about Rock and Ring and the giant festivals they have in the summer. It's some of the biggest festivals in the world. So they're
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very I hate to say Americanized because they've been around for thousands of years before us, but um American friendly, should I say. So it's it should bode well for a good time there. And when will tell us about the latest record with Logan Mader, the self-titled LP?
Well, we got that in the bank in late 2021. We recorded quite quickly after having released our first album, Animals, and we started off by doing the pre-production here in Costa Rica, and then flew up to Vegas, and we did most of the songs at the hideout in Vegas. We also did some tracking at the Skeleton Key in Vegas, and we finished off with some vocals at Logan Mader's home studio. So we got to see a little bit of the scenery there. The music itself is extremely good. It's much more of a collaborative effort than our first album. We had a lot more input from the other guys who joined the band after we had recorded the first album. So Andres is a really kick-ass guitarist. I think you were saying that he might have written something for the new Ross the Boss single.
Yeah, Ross said he collaborated with the guitarist of the band, so you would probably know which one that is. But he said say hi to everybody. He's excited to have you guys on board. So there's a collaborative connection there somewhere. But
Yeah,
so
so
Logan is based in Vegas now.
Logan's based in Vegas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it turned out really well. We were very happy with it, and we've been sitting on it, for about a year, over a year, just waiting to get it out in a strategic and effective way that has good distribution. So we organized a deal with Rivet Records on the Orchard, so that's Sony's distribution platform, and yeah, we've been putting out singles for the past few months and videos. We've got one more video to go out with the album in a few weeks. Here on April 28th is when the album goes out, and we've got a really kick-ass video to go with that. And yeah, we really think people are gonna like it. It's a great album, and we also have a few guitar solos on there from Gary Holt of Slayer and Exodus. So we're really looking forward to getting it into people's hands. And so far, the singles that have gone out have done really well. Steady Blows to the Head and Leap of Faith which just went out. They have been doing really good on Spotify and the streaming services. And the next focus track to come out should also really kick ass. And then we have a total of 9 tracks on the album, and they range in diversity, they range in aggression, they range in tuning, and we're very proud of this album. So we hope people really like it.
Yeah, sounds like a good team. And Logan brought Gary Holt in. That was his connection.
And that was actually my connection.
Oh.
I met Gary at the final Slayer concert in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And we just started chatting and kept in touch over the course of the scamdemic lockdowns. And then once he was out of commission for a year or whatever it was, 18 months, because nobody could tour. So he's like, sure, I'll come into the studio and bust something out with you guys, no problem. So we did.
Okay, great. Well, that's certainly a cherry on top. So we got Europe coming up. We got more Mexico coming up, and how long have you lived in Costa Rica?
I'm here about 5 years now. I moved here actually over 5 years, maybe going on 5.5 years. So I run a business here too. I have a retreat center and a healing center on the beach here, and we do psychedelic healing retreats with ayahuasca. So we have shamans that come up from the Peruvian Amazon, and we do retreats here, like 20 people a week kind of thing. And yeah, I've been here for 5.5 years. My buddy Jesse, who's our drummer, Jesse Radford, he works with me here, and he's been here since 2018. The other guys here, Anton Daruso, he's actually Russian, and he moved here 20 years ago. So he's got a family here. And the other 2 guys, younger guys, Andres Castro and Daniel Ramos, and they're both like 30 years old, and They have their own kind of game here. They both teach guitar, and Danny's a psychologist, and Andres is, you know, doing all kinds of music sessions and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep them busy so they
And
don't
what
go
can
somewhere else.
what can you tell someone that's never visited Costa Rica that they should come down? Certainly, consider your retreat there, but just as a country, what can you tell them about Costa Rica if you've never been there?
Well, it's a great country. It's been up and coming for a long time. So now it's pretty much established. It's beautiful, it's safe, it's full of nature. The people are cool, the people are educated. Um, it's convenient-ish, I guess, to get to. There's all kinds of stuff to do. There's all kinds of different ecosystems. There's Pacific coastline, there's Caribbean coastline, there's mountains, there's jungles, there's beaches, there's great surf, there's party towns, there's great restaurants, there's a city. Um, I love it here. I really don't have enough good things to say about Costa Rica.
Yeah, well, I've lived in Panama, so I know the area and spent a lot of time down in South America, and it's uh it's definitely some beautiful beaches and great people. Well, Daniel, we appreciate you checking in. Want to spread the word. Core Savage Existence out on tour in Europe with Ross the Boss. Check them out online. We got links below. Check out the site, self-titled LP, Logan Mader, and of course some great solos by Gary Holt of Slayer and Exodus, and more videos to come. Daniel, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to our next chat soon.
Thank you very much, brother. Have a great one.